kept your hair.
Yeah, I have. Awesome, hey.
Hello to everyone out there in podcast
And
land
well
too.
done for remembering to press record.
Go me.
Happy Friday from the Lightbox,
Happy
everybody.
Friday from Guins and Ros.
Yeah, I'm going to just
As
jump
well.
on today so I can share some stuff.
So there's that, right?
Yeah.
So there's unanswered prayers. I should be able to enter that. And then we've got Graeme Connors ready to go here. So if you're out there in podcast land wondering what the hell we're doing, or Facebook Live land, I know what we're doing. We're just
Turn that down.
Control C. We're just copying some. Ros Waters joined. Why did you join?
Because I figured out overnight that if I join, then if I want to share something, I don't have to do it on your keyboard. I can do it on the phone.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So if I join while we're watching,
you can now add comment.
I can actually do it on my phone rather than
Technology.
I know we're getting smarter at this.
We are. Have you seen my webpage? Talk about getting smart. Have you checked that shit?
I haven't been watching it.
Holy shit! Have you been watching it, bro?
Any milk?
Oh no! Didn't they bring you milk?
No milk. That's
Shit,
all right.
they brought cream out.
We'll wave them down later.
So big day today.
Yeah, it's been a big
Are you going to talk about your day? Or
No.
not? All right. I'll talk about my day.
You go
and if
first.
You don't want, I'm always able to talk about my day.
Yeah, go on.
But are you going to talk about whatever? Or are you not going to worry about it?
I'm not.
Right. So for us,
I'm going to talk about you.
We're going nuts with it. Okay. Donna
Ellis.
always on, and Catherine Merritt.
Oh, Catherine, how's the
Sheila
new job
Daly,
going?
the fittest woman in
Sheila.
Gladstone, apparently. Strong girl.
You must be fit. Seriously,
You
I did
must be.
training yesterday with Ange, and oh my god, just unbelievable.
Show us your guns. Give us the guns.
Oh, lean over.
You've got them guns going on. You have too. Look
I
at
have.
you.
Yeah. Ange is great. Ange is really good.
You
Yeah.
go right. Now, mate, Beach, you went down for a while. Afternoon, lovely. So you guys endorsed by the Lightbox yet? Yes, we are not. What's that mean?
They probably should be
endorse.
sponsoring it. We should
They
be getting
should
free
be
coffee.
sponsoring us.
Yeah, well, he's sitting over there. We'll have a go at him.
Oh, look, I don't care. I don't mind. I was going to say that
I'm going to get his attention.
Yeah.
No, they're walking away. I need some milk.
We should get a free coffee, shouldn't we? Occasionally.
Something.
No, we
love it
We
here.
just want to give back.
I love
to
the
them
atmosphere,
too. And
so-
Crystal Roots is on.
Hey, Crystal,
So
how
they-
was your week?
Yeah, lol. Can I tell you something? I did a live this morning.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did.
She's a beautiful girl. She would be the
You've
smartest
done
woman.
lots of lives, like I'm very, very proud of you.
Oh, thanks. And
Very
I haven't signed. I keep forgetting to put them on our page. I'm onto it now.
Yeah, you've got
But
to
I've got to-
get on that.
I
Actually, I've got to
know.
get out and see a few more businesses.
But
I've got to
I've
go
got-
see Donna and interview her.
Yes. Can we do that together? Because I want to
Yeah.
meet her. Because
All right, well, let's do
I've only
that.
ever met her once, just down the front here.
Oh,
Now,
I've met a few people. Actually, I've run into really
Who'd you run
random
into?
people this week.
randoms.
Yeah, a
That's-
lady that I've known who's been in real estate for years, and this guy called me up at King Cora today, and he goes, oh, he said, I'm Tanya's husband. I've never met you before, but you got the same hair as her.
Oh, shit. Good. That's a positive. At least you got her.
I know.
Oh, well,
How's it
right,
feel,
come
Anton?
on, boys.
How's it
Come
feel?
on, boys. What's that? How's it feel? Feels cold some days and hot the others.
Yeah.
I feel a bit abnormal.
I love our
reckon-
topic today.
I want to ask you a question though.
What?
This is a weird question.
Okay.
This is to a woman, and I want you to be honest.
Okay.
Forget I'm sitting here.
Okay.
So you're talking to Facebook Live.
Okay.
I'm going out on a limb here, right?
Yeah.
On a real big limb. Because I want to know this.
All right, drum roll.
Drum roll.
Drum
and
roll.
I don't really care about the answer because I've been married for 25 years.
Okay.
So I'm interested for the right reasons.
Butchie.
Where is Butchie on?
Yeah, Butchie joined us.
So I read somewhere the other day, and it's always in the news,
Okay.
that bald men are sexier.
Well, if you like bald men, I guess they are.
Okay.
It's
so
just
some
like,
women
it's
do it, some
interesting.
don't.
Well,
Talk me through it.
because some women like men with beards, and other women hate any
Do you like
facial hair.
beards?
I don't mind. It just, as long as it's manicured and well
So
maintained,
you like a
I don't
tidy
mind.
beard. So you don't
Yeah,
like
I
Ned
don't
Kelly
like-
beard.
No, I'm not a big fan of the great big. Yeah,
Right.
but only
So do you
because
like
I don't
bald?
like food getting cut in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't
You
mind bald men.
bald?
No,
Right, okay.
it's the same. But you
That's a
know,
boring answer, you know
people
that,
have.
don't you?
Yeah, I know,
That's
but
as
people.
boring as batshit.
Glenn Butcher, yeah. So he's
Yes.
kind of. He's a little bit bald.
From choppy close.
He's choppy.
We're just answering all the big questions
Here
here.
we
Are
are.
bald men
We are
sexier?
just getting warmed up,
That's
waiting
right.
for a few people to join
That's
us.
right.
So yeah, and I need some milk, so I'm trying to get their
Trying to get
attention.
their attention. So
Milk.
now that we've
Anyone's at the light box
now that that
and they're
question-
watching, can
now-
someone go up to the counter and ask for some milk?
now that
some
question
milk for me?
now that question flopped because Ros didn't really have a great answer.
Oh, do you want me to
And that's
say you look sexy
No,
as
no,
Anton
no,
Guinea?
not at all,
I think
not at all.
bald men
Not at
are
all.
very well. You know what? It's interesting because receding hairline. I believe a lot of guys look better when they fully shave their head.
Yeah, no,
You know what I
agree.
mean? So
That's what I did too.
you know the comb over thing. I'm not
Yeah,
really
can't do the
a
whole.
big
Okay,
fan.
so comb over's not sexy.
Yeah.
You'd rather
Well-
see bald, none or a lot.
I just think, why hide the obvious and
Yeah.
but the old
I agree.
toupee thing. Or,
Yeah.
in saying that, I go to with the hairdresser I go to. She's beautiful, my lovely Mel, and she's got a gentleman that goes there regularly. She has Colour Me Mel. She works at home over at Clinton, and she's a beautiful lady.
Hello, Jenny Hayward.
And hi guys, thanks
Archie's
for joining us.
Too, by the way.
Yeah, we're talking about sexy wall mirror.
Head like a dropped pie.
Answering the big questions.
Yeah,
Hey Adele, welcome. But yeah, I think, and he gets his hair. He's actually I would say he's probably in his early 50s. He actually gets his hair coloured. I've run into him a few times there,
He's great.
But I just think, well, if you like that, if you want to get your hair coloured, it's the same as me going blonde. I like.
Yes,
my
they
hair
are. The
blonde,
facial
so,
expression is intensifying.
Yeah, it means they at least shower and manicure themselves.
That's what's attractive.
Yeah, see, I really like facial hair being manicured, but you've heard the old saying that I'm not bald, it's a solar panel for a sex machine.
I don't think it's that.
Oh, I don't know, I'll ask Jules.
Well, then I'll get too personal. I get in trouble tonight.
Answering all the big questions.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know.
But it's the
I don't
same,
really care.
from a woman's point of view, you can say there's some men who particularly like larger women.
Yeah,
Or
I like calves. I'm a calf man.
Yeah,
and boobs. I like boobs.
Yeah.
Big norks.
I don't think there's many men that don't like.
Oh, that's true.
like-
Big norks, big calves. I don't know why. And a big bum too. I don't mind a big bum shape. Are you allowed to say that on it?
Is it like a J-Lo butt or a Kim
Yes!
Kardashian butt? Yeah, see?
Love that.
And see, some guys and
Like
girls
that.
are into different things.
Yeah, that's right. No,
Some
it's
guys are
Matt
into
Jenkins
guys,
joined,
and
and another baldy
some
just
guys-
joined us.
Oh my God, it's
Go,
all
Matty. It's
Friday.
the bald show.
All Friday.
Matt's striking a handsome man. And look at Crystal Rose going, oh, funny.
Did you tell
Funny,
everyone?
funny,
Did you
funny.
tell all your bald mates we were going to talk
No,
about sexy
I didn't.
how sexy
And
bald
Taryn
men are
Kelly, my
today?
sister-in-law.
Hey Taryn.
So her
hey,
brother, her ex-hubby actually, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law,
Yeah.
he's a baldy too. And we actually look similar when we got goatees.
Oh look, Crystal's laughing.
She thinks we're pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's true. A lot of people have different opinions of different, and it's like eye colour. Some people are
And
into certain
blue
eye
eye,
colours.
yeah.
Some people.
See, that's the thing. I notice eye colours. Like when I meet someone, I can
That's
tell
because
you,
you engage and looking at
because I
people
want to,
in the
and
eye.
I teach people, look in their people's left eye and look for eye colour, because that means you're actually taking an interest.
Yes.
You're caring enough.
That's
Judy
right. You
Wicker?
have told us that before.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you in
Hey,
6
Judy.
months' time what colour your eyes are, but I can now.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in relation to girls, and another thing that some blokes don't like is big muscly chicks.
No, and they don't like the ones who people who do muscle building to actually show. Butchie,
Glenn,
you're onto
Butchie,
it.
carpets,
All
curtains.
the important stuff.
Tell you what, mate.
Hey, Butchie, can you just let me know, did you get your shirts from the Appreciation Day, the Emergency Services Appreciation Day? I dropped them off to trees when I was at the
Curtains,
chiropractor.
Well, that's another quote. We'll do curtains, carpets in a sec. Lee,
Hey, Lee.
hello.
No, let's not go
Let's
there.
not go to curtains, carpets.
We're off topic
But,
because we've
yeah,
got
I
a
know,
heap to talk
but
about
first
today.
of all, do you like muscly men? All women like muscly men, don't you?
Well, it depends. Like, there's muscly and there's muscly. Like,
I'm talking Arnold
I'm
Schwarzenegger.
toned. Like, I am
Yeah,
toned,
that's
and a lot of people have since I. Actually, interestingly enough, I posted a photo in this new dress that I got off my friend
Oh.
Gabby, who
Yeah, I
owns
see
Style
that.
House
Yeah,
Fashion.
Yeah, she's going nuts.
And the dress was just
Got his shirt.
beautiful to wear. I wore it on the weekend. Oh, thanks, Butchie.
See you soon.
Yeah, they're great. And I posted this picture, and a lot of people have asked if I've lost more weight because I look.
And
They
have you?
said I look
Because you
skinny.
look
I haven't.
skinny.
No, I think it's because I've toned. Because I'm toning, it's actually like
Making you look
becoming.
skinny,
Well,
isn't it?
it's
You're probably burning body fat putting on muscle.
well, it's actually and I haven't. I've been a stable weight for about 12 months. So yeah, excuse the wind today. Look, I'm all over the
We're stuck on Xena the Princess Warriors.
No, it's just mainly for strength and core.
Right.
So yeah, I
So
don't. The fact that it looks nice to have
Just
a
helps.
bit of tone is a
Absolutely.
bonus. I'm doing it for my strength because I'm having all my skin removal surgery in
Yeah,
July.
I can't wait to see how that
We'll
goes.
talk a lot about that leading
Oh,
up to. We'll have to
can't
do a few
wait.
lives from the hospital bed.
Would we?
Yeah, we'll have to.
Holy shit.
So
No, but I like big muscly women, like solid, and if they've got them coming out, bring that shit on.
and it is. It's everything is.
Some people
It's all a
don't like that, but I
personal.
like that.
It's all a personal.
And blonde too.
taste. Yeah. Well, there you
Like
go.
blonde.
There you go.
Like blonde.
A lot of people like blonde.
I had Jules blonde for a couple of years. Now, talking about blonde, before we even start this conversation about unanswered questions,
Yeah.
so I'm going to preface this with saying that I've been happily married for 25 years.
Yes, to a beautiful woman. Jules is a
and
spectacularly
she is
amazing, beautiful woman.
So lucky.
Yeah, you are lucky.
So we found
Hit
each
the
other
jackpot,
very,
I'm
very
telling
I
you.
hit the jackpot.
You did.
And I'm so blessed. I have just, there's nothing that I would
She's a
ever do.
good person too.
And heart of
Great
gold.
teacher.
A beautiful teacher, beautiful person. And I just adore her. So today we're going to talk about unanswered prayers. Right?
And leaving a sacred place for your children.
That's right. So the first one is, but it's going to be a bit funny, the first one, because we posted, Wayne offered, hello mate.
We did post the lyrics earlier, so
Post the
scroll
lyrics.
back if you want to have a look at them.
Love everywhere. Love.
Yeah,
everywhere.
love, lots of love.
And so I'm going to talk about unanswered prayers because the words in that song are really true.
They are.
Especially for males, and I can speak for males. I don't know whether they're true for females. I'm going to ask you first. Do you look back on your childhood or your early teens or your early 20s and go, shit, that was a bloke who I thought I was going to marry forever, and I didn't, and I was shattered for the next 6 years or the next 12 months?
No, probably not marry. It was just, there's always somebody that you really, really, really like. And no, you're on fire today. You should go back on keto to tone it down.
Too much
a bit.
energy. I know, sorry.
No.
Hello,
Hey,
Jason.
Jason. He's bald too, isn't he, Jason?
No,
He's got a bit of hair.
got a bit of
I
hair.
can't see his profile.
Oh no, he's a bit bald
Yeah,
these
he's a
days.
bit
I remember him with hair back in the day.
Hey, Wayne. Hey, Jason.
So talk me through it.
Yeah, I actually look at the song metaphorically. I actually look at unanswered prayers as not the song. If anyone hasn't read the lyrics before, the song's actually about Garth Brooks sings it, and he's at a football game, and him and his wife run into an old flame of his, and he remembers back to when he was dating her.
Hold on. One of Julie's school friends, Nicole Buckland, she went to boarding school at Lewis Hill with Nicole 30 years ago. She
Nicole.
said, hello, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
She was in Japan with us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So back to this song. So he runs into an old high school flame, and he remembers. Thinking back, he remembers when he was with her.
How much he loved her.
He loved her. He prayed that he would end up with her. Then the song goes into basically saying that he is very happy with his wife now, and he's very grateful that his prayers were unanswered at that time. So I look at it from a metaphorical point of there are so many things in your life that at a particular time, and this happens every day. I will guarantee you, if you actually go through every day, even down to the tiniest things. Every Friday afternoon, I drive up Gundoon Street and I think to myself, please let there be a car park available right out the front. And I tell you now...
Why is that unanswered prayers?
Well, I think it's because if you put something... And this is not a religious conversation. This is about whether you talk to the universe, whether you have spirit guides, whether you're Buddhist, whether you pray to God or whoever it is that you actually ask. I believe if we ask the universe for things, the universe will actually give us what we need, or God, or whoever you. Yeah. So I believe metaphorically, it's about asking. Unanswered prayers covers everything. If you want your house to sell in Melbourne.
You put it out to the universe.
Put it out, and
we do that every week. Put it out.
And you've talked to this before about this.
100%.
Recently, we had the conversation where you said you believe our life's already mapped out. When we're born. And I think you can want something so much, and you can pray for it or ask the universe for it or whoever.
It may not come
if it doesn't happen, I believe it's later on after the fact that you actually realise why that didn't happen. And I think that's why the song is metaphorical.
And that's why I think life.
And see, Crystal just said what we want, we may not need.
And that's why we have unanswered prayers.
Exactly.
We think we want them in the moment. We
Yes.
don't need them over time.
Yes.
The universe will always provide what you need.
Yes, and I believe that, Crystal. I really believe
that's
that.
pretty deep.
But you know what? It's really tough because sometimes when you don't get what you really ask for,
Shattered.
it can really shatter you.
Shattered.
It can really, really shatter you.
And so we can put Darnie Schwimmer, me, oh mate, he's a great lad, Darnie. Stephen Bennett. And we can, and I agree. You're desperate for milk, right?
Yeah, I am.
Why don't you go and? Oh no, all right. Well, hold on. We can't lose you.
No, it's all good.
They'll come
I just
out
want
to
to
see.
get someone's attention.
So like he wrote it about his girlfriend or girlfriends and that. Okay, so let's think about it from a business perspective now, right? What I love in business is I love someone like Richard Branson or Bill Gates, well, no, not even them. There's better examples who say after 10 years, someone will ask them, how did you become an overnight success?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, yeah, no, that's right. Good call. How did I become? I've worked hard for the last 15 years.
Yes.
That's how I'm an overnight success. And I think along the journey for business people, like I've been doing this for 15 years now, and it's only this year that it's clicked. I've really only, I think, believe it or not, I know this sounds weird, the keto journey was good because I never actually thought for 6 months. I actually didn't think properly.
See, that's bad for you.
Oh, I know. And I think I'm doing 12 months worth of thinking in this 3-month period.
But you're starting to get really pumped up again, and you're back to your old self.
And I think, I know, thank you. And I appreciate the feedback. And I think that in 15 years, there's been plenty of things, my goals that I haven't achieved in business.
And I think all of us as business people will recognise that.
You're part of the furniture, Ros. You've got to stand out more. No one's seeing you here because you're just here. Why don't you go and, do you want me to go and grab them for you?
No, it's all good.
All right.
It's all good.
Here
she comes. She saw me.
Okay.
Waved my cup in the air.
16
Got no milk,
minutes and 2
guys. I've got a
seconds.
pot of tea sitting here with no milk. See,
So
I'm praying for milk.
you're praying for milk. So that's the universe putting it out the universe. So I think that, I seriously do believe that Stefan Cacao, in business, you're going to have a lot of unanswered prayers.
Oh, you are. You are in business, definitely.
But
you know what? It still comes down to working hard and putting the effort in and the planning and the heart and soul and the waking up every day and having the passion and purpose to go and do the job and do it as best as you can.
Possibly. And add value. I did a podcast this week, driving home from Brizzy. Isn't that great? Pulled up, push record.
Yep.
Talk for half an hour, pulled over, push record, there's a podcast.
Awesome.
Holy
That's
shit.
fantastic.
And you know what I did?
On the run.
Because all I could think about is visibility drives your viability.
Yes.
Drives your valuability. Or value.
Did you just make that up?
Yes.
On the road?
Yes.
See, driving's good for you.
I know.
See, you've got to stay away from keto. This is like your brain's come back to life or something.
I'm serious, girl. I'm telling you, I've got like 3 books in my head. I can't stop thinking.
Yeah, well, I think you're actually even showing on your show. I think the holiday was good for you.
Yeah.
Japan was good for you.
Yeah, I had two big years where I just worked. Problem is, I'm not working much.
Yeah, no.
I'm building content. Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, but you can't do everything. So you do small things really well.
Yeah,
you've got to do small stuff really well.
Content.
Yeah,
Prayers
really
need power behind them to rock. Sunita Butler. I love Gypsy
Crystal,
chicks.
I love that.
Am I allowed to say that?
Hey, Sunita.
I love this. She lives in the bush and sings.
And Donna's right. You have to have a plan and a strategy to stay focused.
That's always been my problem. That's why my prayers don't come true in business. Well, they do. I shouldn't say that because I've had so many prayers answered.
You've achieved a lot.
I've achieved more than I ever thought I would.
Can I get some milk, please? There, I haven't got. Yeah, I just have my tea. Thank you.
You and I think it's safe to say, if you asked us 20 years ago, did you think we'd be sitting here changing the world a little bit in our own little way? We would have said,
never. No, never. And you know what? It's, I for years could hope and dream that I was going to find a solution for my weight issues. And I tried so many. Honestly, I could just write one book on all the diets I tried and exercise routines and everything else.
Yeah.
But I found a tool, and it has still been a massive amount of hard work, commitment, and dedication for me to actually lose the weight that I've lost. And I'll actually, while I'm on live here, I'm going to post the photo that I actually. Oh, thank you, your honey. I'm actually going to post a photo that can I post a photo or not while we're live?
I think so. Well, I guess.
Oh, no, I don't know if
maybe
you can.
Can't. Oh, I can't see the option.
No,
to do that.
I probably can't.
In saying that though, I'm gonna hazard a guess that you. So, what age were you when you had your surgery?
4 years ago.
Righto. So you
So
were
like
24.
22.
Yeah, that's right. That's 24. Good, great minds think
Oh, we're
alike.
comedians. We say we're a bit like Hamish and Andy.
Oh, I know. Carl Barron needs like a chick with him, like you and I.
Oh, Carl Barron is. You
funniest
talk
man
about
in
funny ball. You know what? That is sexy. Funny is sexy.
Funny is sexy.
Funny is sexy.
I'm starting.
I reckon funny is the sexiest
Someone
thing.
turned up here and everyone went.
but not inappropriately funny. I mean,
He-
funny,
but he's
genuine. He
inappropriate.
is funny.
And
He
he's
is
fine.
honestly, Carl
He's
Barron.
as funny as fuck.
He makes sex. He makes
Makes
balls
sex
sexy.
sexy.
He actually does make.
He makes funny sexy too.
He makes
Even
balls
I'm attracted to
He
that.
does make funny sexy. Yes.
Now,
I got my milk now. I'm good, guys. I'm going to calm down.
So 24 years old, you had this weight loss surgery. I reckon the years
It was 4 years ago, guys. I was not 20.
I reckon leading up to the weight loss surgery, if I asked you about unanswered prayers, you would have said, the universe sucks, it hasn't answered my prayers for me, until you found that answer.
It was more the frustration, I guess, because I always said, why?
Me.
And this goes back to John Wall, when John Wall put that thing in my head, because I used to say, why can't I find, an overnight, why can't I stick to it? Why can't I not feel hungry? Like there was the why of why couldn't I get what I wanted? And John Wall, whatever he said that day back at that conference that I went to, it actually made me go, well, you know what? You've got to. It's up to you.
You gotta do this shit.
If you're the one, if you are having the struggles, and you know what? I'm certainly not against losing weight by Weight Watchers or any. It's about what works for you and finding that solution. And for me, because my issue with being overweight was the fact that I never had that off switch. I never felt full. I was hungry all the time. I could eat huge portions of food. The tool for me, and see, that's why the gastric sleeve doesn't work for everyone. A lot of people have emotional eating issues. A lot of people actually have other issues with injuries, or they have issues that. For me, the gastric sleeves worked because it's reduced the size of my stomach, and so when I was saying all the time, praying or whatever, I want to lose weight, I need to. Why can't I? Why does they have to be skinny and I'm not? Why do my sisters? I mean, they struggle with their weight later in life, but why does my older sister have to be?
Skinny.
When we were growing up and she didn't have those issues, and the boys all liked her, and you know what I mean? And it was all a why me. When I turned that around to action,
I see that. It's the questions you were asking. I was going to say the same.
Exactly.
Why me is actually a question.
Yeah, so it's about taking responsibility for the action of what's going to get you the result, whatever that may be, as long as it's not unhealthy, illegal, or immoral. I think find, and you can relate that to business. You can so relate that to business.
That's our motto in business. Alison and I do not do anything that's illegal, immoral, or unethical.
And you do everything. You apply that to everything in your life.
Absolutely. Where Donna's going with that question is ask shitty questions, is that when you ask shitty questions, you get shitty answers. So what would have been happening, and you could probably tell me this if, I don't know, because there's been times when I've been grossly overweight and asked myself the same questions. Why am I so fat? And then your brain says, because you're a sloth, because you freaking eat too much, because you've got no self-control.
Eat the wrong things.
Because you just keep eating shit. And because you're this or you're that, right? And I wonder whether, ask why me, and you'll come up with 100 reasons why you can
do it. Yeah.
And ask why
I can't do it.
Yeah, ask what I can try, and you get 100 inspiration ideas. Yeah. So I used to get all the wrong answers, like because you're fat, because you're useless, because you can't move, because you had a knee reconstruction. That was a good excuse for a while. So I get that, when you keep saying why me,
it's the same as your business. Because if you say, why is it not growing? Why am I not profitable? Why am I not, earning as much money as there's someone who owns the same business across the road? Yeah. And it's about putting the things in place and sitting there and just praying for it or asking for it or whatever. I don't think that. I still believe that God or the universe brings you the things you need in your life, and you need to ask for those things.
Absolutely.
But I also believe that if you're not given them, there's a reason for that, and you will find out later on.
You got to work out what that is.
Like Garth Brooks' song. There was a reason that he never ever married that woman and stayed together, and he didn't realise that until he met his beautiful wife.
That's right, and he's been married forever now.
The lyrics are very, very clearly stated.
And I was the same.
That, he was not even aware of how much he didn't want or need that woman in his life that he dated early.
And if you read the lyrics,
he met his wife, look what he would have missed out on.
And if you read the lyrics to the song, it says he's trying to talk to her and he couldn't even talk to this woman.
No.
20 years later, he had nothing to talk to her about, even though it probably makes sense because he hadn't seen her for 20 years. But so that's Garth Brooks. That's unanswered prayers. I think it's a good thing that we have unanswered prayers. Though what I'm going to say is that, can I just put a little footnote on this, that God's denials, there's a saying, God's delays are not God's denials. God's delays are not God's denials. So if you want something badly enough, guess what? It might take you 20 years. Seriously.
You might get it 100% the way that you asked for it either, because it comes in different, it'll come in different forms. So
yeah, that's true.
And the nice thing about the end, after he'd seen the lady and realised that it wasn't what he needed in his life, and he said, as she walked away, and I looked at my wife, and there I thanked the good Lord for the gifts in my life. So there's the realisation after the fact, and it could be, like you said, a long time later. Many years later sometimes, that you actually look back and go, well, geez, I'm really glad that didn't happen.
Peter Key, another nudgy boy. We've always got some nudgy boys on.
I guess it's the same as when something bad happens unexpectedly as well.
How do you internalise that?
Well, it's I suppose that, there's sad things that have happened in my life and sad things I've seen, and some things I don't believe you'll ever have answers to. A lot of questions
that's right.
that you ask.
Why do you get cancer?
Yeah.
See, I don't get that. I don't get why, and I don't think anyone ever will.
No,
who's ever going to answer that philosophical question?
I don't believe there are answers to some question. And you know what? We might never know, but we also might know. A lot of Christians believe that when you go to heaven, everything will be answered for you. But I just don't. I don't think there's certain things you just will never have an answer for. You go through a children's hospital and see young kids and babies who are sick, and there's no answer to that. I'm sorry. No. You can't answer that. Robert and Peter, welcome.
Right, so moving right along. Next song is one of your favourites, Graeme Connors.
Yeah, did I send you the lyrics to that?
Of course.
I think. Did you post them? Okay, cool. So this is one of my favourites. So Graeme Connors is from Mackay, and I love Graeme Connors. He actually wrote a lot of songs for a lot of other artists, including Slim Dusty. He wrote a lot of songs for Slim Dusty.
I didn't know that. Good Queensland boy.
Yeah, he is. And he's actually coming to Gladstone.
No.
Yes.
When's he coming?
Hang on, I'm going to jump out of the live just for one second.
We'll have to post a link to his page.
Yeah, so I will actually have a look now, because Graeme, if you want to see a really good artist, seriously, if you don't remember, there's a song called North. I head a little further north each year.
So that's Graeme Connors. We might get up and do it with him.
Leave the city behind.
So
that's Graeme Connors. So if I can find it in my calendar here, actually, I think it's at the Entertainment Centre from memory.
I'd have to be, wouldn't it?
I think so.
No, I'm coming. You and I.
Graeme Connors in concert, 8th of June, day before my birthday, 8th of June. Graeme Connors, that's him.
How old is the big fella these days?
Graeme Connors. Okay, so I'm going to post a link to that.
Yeah, could you? That'd be great. Great song. I'll get a little further north each year.
Yeah. So the song that he sings, this is one of his old songs. It was from when he first started becoming popular. My mum, bless her soul, she's just beautiful, and she used to be the chief pavilion stewardess at the Claremont show every year. And she was
What's a pavilion stewardess?
Well, the big pavilion where they have all the displays, so the cakes and vegetable displays. Yeah. Well, she ran all the other stewards to make sure that all the displays were set up. The schools, the kids went in and did display. So she, it was many years ago. I was only, I think, in primary school, and she actually helped organise. Graeme Connors came. It was State of Origin Decider night, and it was the last night of the Claremont show, and they had to have live music there. They'd organised Graeme Connors on this stage outside next to the big ring where they had all the stuff on for the show, the rodeo stuff, and there was probably no more than 30 people in the crowd. So Graeme Connors is on this. Yeah, and this was when he first started going out on his own. So before that, he wrote a lot of songs, probably longer than that, because
because you're in your 30s now.
So we all were sitting right back from the stage, and Graeme Connors said, everyone bring your chairs up close to the stage. So we had this little private concert pretty much, and everyone else, we knew when Queensland scored, because everyone else was up in the pavilion watching the decider.
He only got 30 people.
Yes, because they were all up watching the stage.
That's where he wanted to be too, probably.
Yes, by the way. So they were all up cheering. Every time they cheered up in the shed, we knew Queensland had scored. We didn't have Facebook or mobile phone. Like we didn't know. We weren't getting updates. We just knew by when they all screamed and yahooed that Queensland had scored. So I really fell in love with Graeme Connors back then, and this is one of the songs from then. Like this is one of his early songs. So it's called A Sacred Place. So basically, the song is about leaving a sacred place in your children. So
Tony Noyes, thanks for joining me. Insurance.
Tony,
for your help,
my
brother.
insurance
Oh,
man.
he is helping us out big time.
He is. I'm just going to go back to our live. So I'm going
Sure.
to jump on and you'll see me pop up as joining the live.
Join. I thought you were already joined.
Yeah, no, I had to get out of it to find
the.
the event. So it's funny because it's delayed on my phone. So see on
yeah,
point.
I think it is delayed a bit, and I'll tell you why. Because like we'll crack a funny or something, and then like a minute later, they'll go, "Yeah, funny." You know,
Yeah, I
or
know.
a few seconds later.
The funny thing about that is we can't bleep it out. You know when the radio's delayed,
Yeah.
if anyone swears you can bleep it out, well, we can't do that.
No, that's right. That's right.
We can't do that.
Yeah, right. So Graeme Collins, you
Oh,
saw him
so
all
I
those
have
years
to
ago.
go
So
back.
first time I heard about him, I was sharing an office with a guy called Peter Montague, right?
So you've met him in person?
No.
Oh, you
No,
haven't met?
no.
I've met him several times.
No, first time I've heard about him.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he's a great guy.
First time I heard about him was this office I was sharing with this guy with Peter Montague. He was from a little town in New South Wales called Inverell. Never forget. And
I've heard of Inverell. I don't know if I've ever been there.
Never forget this. He and I spent an office together for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And before that, I used to not be able to stand country music.
Really?
This is 2001, and like I don't know why, it was like, man,
I found it. Yep.
he owned the CD player for the office. Seriously, and all he played.
So did he got to choose the music
Yes.
all the time?
All the time, which was really useful. And all he played was Garth Brooks,
Yep.
Alan Jackson,
And Graeme Connors.
and I got to know every word to all of their
He's
songs
got some beautiful
and
stuff.
loved.
Beautiful.
And this song, for some reason, I never heard this song.
So the song basically is, the lyrics start with, I believe we leave a little bit of ourselves behind. In all we say and all we do, we echo on through time. So in a way, we never die. We just fill a different space. In the hearts of those we touch, we leave a sacred place. And then he goes on to say, once I used to wonder where the child in me had gone. Seems like I just turned around one day and I had grown. And all those years I thought had disappeared without a trace. Now I know they're living on in some sacred place. So it's actually about, and I think about this often. You know, we talked last week about my grandmother when we talked about the people that had influenced us. Yeah. And I really do believe that, because last weekend when my whole family gathered together for the surprise wedding, it was amazing. I didn't tell you. The engagement party turned out to be a surprise wedding.
No.
So, yeah, it was amazing.
They got married.
So we had my little great niece, their baby. We had little Bethany's naming ceremony in the afternoon out at my sister's property.
Never heard of
under this beautiful tree. It's like a christening, but not religious. So it was beautiful ceremony. And then everyone sort of moved away to the shed where we'd set up where the party was set up. And then they said to everybody, can you all gather back over under the tree because we want a group photo? And they had all chairs set up under the tree. So we walked back down to the tree, and my sister and the mother of the bride got up and started saying a speech. And my sister's not big on speeches, and she was going on, and everyone's going, where's this photographer? We just want to get the group photo. What's going on? And then my nephew walks out up the front in a suit. And I said, my mum was sitting next to me, and I said, I think there's more than an engagement party going on here. And then my niece's boyfriend stood next to my nephew, and he had the bow tie and everything on. And my mum goes, oh, no, he'd just be putting his jacket on for the photo. And I went, I don't think so, Mum. And then all of a sudden behind us we hear this big cheer, and we turned around, and coming out of the shed was his fiancée, dressed in a wedding dress, and my daughter Sarah as the maid of honour.
So she kept that from you
She
too?
kept it a secret for months from me, and they got married. It was just amazing.
Shit.
It was so amazing. It was beautiful. They had it set up under the tree, rural setting. It was so beautiful.
Isn't that great?
And I had all my family around me, all these beautiful babies, and it made me think of what we talked about last week and this song. So gathered around with this generations of all of my family, and my mum and dad now have 2 great-grandchildren, and they've got another 3 on the way. And I kept looking at them, and I'm thinking, this is what that song is about. My grandmother is here with us today because a little piece of her is in every one of those people.
Shit, that's deep.
And I truly believe that you actually pass on, hey, You actually pass on
a
part
bit
of
of you.
yourself to everybody that you is in your life, especially genetically. I believe
Especially
that
kids.
with your children, your grandchildren, your great nieces and nephews. It was spectacular, Crystal, I can tell you. And my mum burst into tears and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And she was like, I can't believe it. And it was the beautiful
tears.
thing was, oh God, yes, she was so ecstatic. But she actually said that it was that immediate shock of, oh my gosh, they're getting married.
Yeah.
And we just had their baby's naming ceremony. They're due to have another baby in June. And my family are really good breeders.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Super sperms.
But to actually, see my daughter walking down behind the bride as the bridesmaid and knowing how much my grandmother and my great-grandmother would love to have been there. And I thought, you know what, they're actually here. I truly believe that they've left a sacred place.
I agree.
That's their legacy.
I agree they're here somewhere.
That's their legacy.
Inside you if you want to listen to it. So now, listen to this.
That's what that song is
We've
about.
gone to Spearsy's mum in England. We've gone to
Alberto,
in Madrid.
my wine mate.
That's him.
He's my wine.
Danielle,
he's my wine triathlon.
That's right. Wine triathlon.
Hello.
Right.
Hello from Australia, Alberto.
Mick Fish and Craig Blake.
Danielle, Michael. G'day, Mick.
It's all going on. Geez, that's a big story. That's a pretty deep.
Yeah, so we had, and I think that song resonates with a lot of people. And we're very blessed to have an extremely close family. And I think, and the interesting thing, my sister, I've talked a lot about them being foster carers.
Yep.
So on Monday, it was my sister, whose son got married last weekend. It was my sister and her husband's 25th wedding anniversary. So once again, we all met out at their property and we had dinner and all got together. And I got up and gave a speech. And part of this, yeah, I got up and I've been living with them for 18 months.
Yes, you have.
So I've sat and witnessed them raising these foster children and, having this sometimes really small, like I'm talking some of these children they have for respite and they get them for one weekend. But I truly believe they leave this tiny little part of themselves, with those children because, some of these kids have been to hell and back and some of them are taken away from the mum at birth and they will probably never ever know their parents. And then some of them go from foster home to respite home to foster home the tiny little, and they take that really seriously. My sister and her husband, that tiny little bit of effect that they might have or impact that they might have on those children for that very short time that they've got them, I think that's leaving a sacred place in them, and it's sad that there's so many kids Ross, that are affected.
Deep, for Friday,
but you think about your kids, and your legacy to them. When your kids see that you're a hard worker and you're a good person and you're kind and, loving and...
Can I tell you something?
Does that not make you feel...
Makes me feel very proud and very swollen with joy.
And it should, because you're a really good role model for them. And it's evident they're now young adults.
Yeah,
and when I meet them, it's obviously had a big impact on them. So,
can I tell you the thing that I'm really most proudest of with our kids? So we only ever taught our kids two things. This is the sacred stuff that I want to talk about with them. So we only ever said to the boys, and the first one some people agree with and some people disagree with, and that's okay. They were our kids to raise. We did some good things and we did some shit things.
Yeah, and it's your legacy.
That's right, good and bad. So the rat bag stuff that they've got is ours too. Is one, get adults to like you when you're a child. So we're big on that because if they like you as a child, when you become an adult, it's so much easier to assimilate. And if they liked you as a growing child, someone like Spears, he's known Zach since he was a boy, he's watched him grow and then says, come and work for me, right? So get adults to like you. Toby picked it up in a very intelligent, very intellectual way, like as engineers do. And that just meant doing the right thing all the time. So we call him Toe the Line Toby. He never puts a foot out of place.
So you weren't one of those parents when your friends came over for a dinner that you'd shunted the kids off? So you made them get involved in adult conversation?
We took them out for dinner. They had to. That was there was no...
Taught them how to sit at a table at a restaurant and act like a human being?
Correct. And now, Spearsy used to say when they were 12 and we'd go out to dinner, thanks for bringing the kids, they're actually quite grown up. And now,
and well behaved. They know how to use a knife and fork.
Correct. Well, they know how to have a conversation.
They know how to talk. Have a conversation.
I've got friends, and their kids won't even talk to adults. And the mum and dad let them get away with that. Now, I'm not...
And Anton doesn't mean just let them to go talk to strangers.
That's right.
It's about having that impact.
Not only that, if that's the way we want to raise your kids, it just, for me, it was just totally different. I wanted our kids to be able to assimilate.
Yeah.
Number two.
I think that helps them with confidence as well.
Oh, absolutely. Helps them get a job, helps them with people skills, helps them be likeable.
Well, it helps them understand relationships as
Yes.
well. I really believe that.
And that's what Zach developed. He developed this real... He can read people. He's got good rapport skills. He's a very likeable lad.
He is.
Then the other
got a
thing...
great personality.
Yeah, thank you, girl. So the number two was... Get this, and I hope you like this one. Treat females like queens.
That one I love.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
That one I love.
Treat now. Zacky's had a first girlfriend, and sometimes he falls short on that. So I get that. And so we try to encourage him gently, mate. She's a princess. You treat females like a queen. Treat her like a princess, queen or princess.
It's important to raise your sons like that, I believe.
Well, the way that, and see, the challenge is, Ros, that kids don't listen to you as much as they watch you. And say, just talk all you want. It's not until the actions show up that they actually take notice. So when I was telling them to treat kids, to treat their girlfriends or any females like queen or princess, Jules would say, "Watch the way your dad treats me, and do that."
Love it.
And I went, "Wow!" And I never.
And they learn from
watching.
good and bad. So I'm just looking for something that you just reminded me of. I believe in when children grow up in a dysfunctional or bad relationship situation as well. There's a lot they can learn, and you need to be open to talking to them about not accepting that kind of behaviour in your own relationships.
Absolutely.
So, but there's you just reminded me of a really important.
I love being around other people, and I've trained the kids on what my expectations are to everyone to have the best time when out and about. Absolutely, Donna. Good on you, girl. Because it is about expectations and boundaries with kids, especially when they're young.
That's great, Donna.
We've got to keep them.
More parents should do that, let me tell you.
Actually, I was listening to a great audio. Oh, can I have an audio book of the week as well?
You can. I just want to show you this. So during the last 18 months with the issues that I've been through in my personal life, that's one of my favourite memes. I can't settle for just anything. My daughter is watching me. And that's that sacred place. Sacred, I'm telling you.
We need to hold that up.
I will just,
can you
let me save it.
Yeah,
and I think it's really important.
It is.
Actually, I'll do that with my photos because I can't,
Can't post that's right.
So,
for all you women out there.
Sorry, I'm blocking your face.
All you girlies out there, please
really important.
take
when we're talking about leaving a sacred place, it's also making sure that your children watch. If your children are watching your behaviour and what you're settling for, you need to make sure they understand that the way that you come out of it is the way that they will go into their relationships. I really believe that. Whether it's the positive stuff you were just talking about or some of the negative stuff I've just been through. Gary, Jack.
Our Balmain football.
Oh,
now, Gary, I'll try to connect.
Hey,
Come
guys.
and do a live with us, man. We'd love to hear your story. Seriously, man, you're one of the New South Wales people that I used to follow when I was a kid. Please jump on with us one day if you could.
Hey, check
Luke
this.
Grice, how are you? And that goes for everyone
too.
else. Oh, by the way, Harry Charalambus, love to do a live with you too one day. So I got my first
Harry.
request to do a live with someone, to interview someone the other day.
Oh, really?
Not that
You're going to tell us who?
Yeah, Aaron Longmire, his name is.
Oh, okay. What's he do?
He's a NLP specialist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, very
You need to do that and make sure you share it to our page. I'm really sorry. You know, we're going back to the bald thing.
Yeah.
You never have a bad hair day. When it's windy, look at me. I've got flyaways all over the place today.
Because I shave every day.
Yeah, I know. And you won't get the issues I'm having with my hair. Ann Webster. Hey, Ann.
Can I, so have we closed off on the girlies and the mums and the...
Well, I just, I want everyone to probably just take from that song, and the lyrics are posted up,
they're posted.
Over there, look.
Yeah.
Well, they are on our screen. They're probably not on yours. So the lyrics to those songs that we've just spoken about today, Anton posted early on, but we'll post links to the songs on YouTube.
That's a good
so people
idea.
can actually listen to them when we're finished.
Because I've got to tell you, the Garth, and Graeme Connors has got this beautiful voice. Garth Brooks, when he sings that song,
it gets into yes, it does.
Especially that line where he goes, and I looked at my wife, And
As I walked away and I looked at my wife,
I thank
Yeah.
right there, and then I thank the good Lord
for the
all
gifts in my life.
When he sings that, that is like
I
a
know.
line you will never ever
No.
forget. Don't thank us now.
Download it.
Don't
Honestly,
thank us now.
download it.
All right, cool.
So you know what? I
hold
was
on.
going. Yeah,
Can I just hijack it again?
yeah.
Can I do an audio book of the week?
Oh, of course you can.
Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Because actually, I'm listening on my phone, so
Oh,
I'm
okay, you
going to
can.
post it. The
Do
four
that.
agreements.
Can you do the at thing? Oh,
at?
yeah. Do that again and see if it worked. It might be there. So what's this about?
Oh man.
Agreements?
Oh, four agreements. Four agreements book. Four agreements.
Does it look like one of them? No.
Let's go 550k likes. Well, let's do that one.
It's probably that one.
Yeah.
Don't press
No,
that
no.
red button. I'm telling
The
you.
Four Agreements for a Better Life. Holy shit, it's a good book. So agreement number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, Google it if you could, please, and help me out because I don't remember all the agreements.
I might actually be able to. Well, if we're
cool.
doing
No,
this,
thank you.
I'm just going to try something new this week, guys. So
Mark
bear
Berry.
with us.
Hello, Mark Berry too. Mark's wife, Alison.
So it's an audio book, or can you buy the paper
buy the
book?
book? Yeah.
So the Four Agreements.
Four Agreements. Agreement. Oh, deep book, deep. You know what he reckons? We're dreaming when we're awake. We just pull our conscious mind into a
So
little
who
bit more.
wrote that, Anton?
Oh, great question. There it is there.
So it's that one?
Yeah, that's it.
Don Miguel Ruiz.
All right. There you go. Don someone.
So he believes we're dreaming while we're awake.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Wow.
Man, you got to listen to it, understand it. I'm going to listen to it again because I don't think I've quite got the deepness of it. Agreement number 1, be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. So what that means is never curse.
Wow.
Never
It looks
swear.
you know what he says? Very spiritual. It looks a bit
Very
spiritual. Yeah.
You know what he says? By using nasty words and cursing, you're putting a spell on people.
Wow.
Oof.
That's
Deep.
very spiritually deep, that is.
Then he says,
Here we go. Book by...
on the opposite, when we're nice to people, we put a good spell on them.
He's got a heap of books. The Power of Now.
Now. Is that them too?
Mastery of Love.
Right.
Oh, no, they're different.
No, they're different.
That
They're
one's
different
his. The
ones.
Mastery of Love
Right.
is his.
So
Wow.
be impeccable with your word. The next one is don't take anything personally. Holy shit, isn't that interesting?
That is very
Don't take
interesting.
anything personally, no matter what.
That's
happens.
hard.
It's not. I know.
That's a
especially when you're in the
hard
public here,
one.
because people say shit about us, I suppose.
Oh, they probably do, but you know what? Get over that.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't wanna-
We're okay with
Don't want to
it.
be... Oh, it's a practical guide to personal freedom.
Oh yeah. Be impeccable with
That's
your
the
word.
only link I can get is Amazon. So
That's okay. Can you just go to Google to images for me?
yeah,
So I
look.
just want to make sure I get the agreements.
Is that it?
That's it. But can you do me a favour? Just
Yeah.
go images because I just want to see what the four agreements
Hang
are.
on. Hang on.
Yeah, that's it. Just go to images because you search by the
Is it which
How do
which
we-
one is it?
Hold on, I'm showing
Oh,
you
we're
something.
really getting technical
no,
today.
just hold on.
Oh, images. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Did I click on images?
Yeah.
Right, so we should be able to find the four agreements. There they are there. So be impeccable with your word. Thanks, girl. Don't take anything personally. Find the courage to ask questions.
So don't make assumptions.
Don't assume
Yeah.
shit.
And what's
That
the
is so
fourth one?
powerful.
Oh, what's the fourth? Always do your best. Oh, I like that. I might have to read that.
Check it out. Check it out. So if anyone,
Hey, Elizabeth, the mother.
Elizabeth, the best physiotherapist in the Southern Hemisphere, probably. Do I reckon?
I think you might be right.
Straight up. And best acupuncturist in the world, most likely. So the Four Agreements is an amazing book. And what did I learn? If I had to have one takeaway, I think I'm trying really hard. No, that's crap. Languaging shit. I'm actually really committed to being impeccable with my words. So Zach's holding me accountable every time I call him a dickhead for his. So we have a bit of fun, Zach and I. He says be impeccable. So
It's a term of endearment. I'm
term
sure.
of endearment. Too funny, says Elizabeth Hall. So, and the other one is don't take anything personally because I've had like every single day you could take something. I could take something personally every single
Probably
day.
every hour, just
Literally.
You could.
And I didn't realise how much I do take things personally. Can I tell you? There's a thought
I
for you.
reckon until that's brought to your
Till
attention,
it's in
you
your
probably don't.
subconscious.
Yeah.
Because you just like it becomes normal just to think, well, he's an arsehole or she's an arsehole
Here we
because I don't
go.
agree with him.
Oh, exactly. And you know what? It's one of those things where if something like that's brought to your attention, like when we leave here today,
We'll be thinking about
oh
it.
my God, I took that personally.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah.
We got photo bombers, look. Lena's sitting in the background. She doesn't even know she's online. I know. She used to be my computer girl.
Okay,
She's
let
up
me
and
see if
gone.
that works.
Oh, good job, go you.
Oh, no, that
no.
means your podcast's going
Sorry,
to be
mate.
interrupted.
No, I don't think it
It's still
is.
recording?
I think it's
Yeah.
still recording.
Don't want to interrupt the
I'll have to
podcast.
call Mark back. Mark McLaren, hello champ. I'll call you back,
Yeah,
brother.
we'll call you back.
Oof, that's a big day. So I'm going to listen to an audio book a week and bring that learning. So that's good on you.
No, that's okay. So
Talk me through it.
while I'm I couldn't share my photos. I was just saying about my before and after photos because we were talking about my unanswered prayers as far as my weight goes. So these are the photos that I posted this week on one of my groups. So my before and after. So yeah, when I was obviously going through the challenges of, hang on, where are you?
No, that's okay. No, you
there
do.
you
You
go.
don't worry about me. You do your thing. Yeah, good on you. That's more important.
And then this one was the other one. So this is from the weekend, the dress I was talking about.
If you're on the podcast at the moment, you will
I'm
not be able
just
to see
showing
these
before and
photos.
after photos. So
I'll check out my
When
website
you-
and I'll put them up there or something.
yeah, when we were talking about the unanswered prayers, before,
Margie College.
going through anything, weight loss, or if you want to get better grades at school growing up, or if you want to be a better tennis player, or if you want to be a what did you say?
triathlete?
What did you say you were when you were growing up? A rat bag. If you want to be a better person and not be a rat bag like Anton was, and you talked last week about your coach, cricket
Jack
coach.
Johnson.
who had-
That's Robbie's dad. Robbie was on before. Robert Johnson.
Oh, the
That
one
was
you
his
talked
dad.
about last week.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Robert Johnson. That's his dad,
Oh my
man.
gosh! So
Small world,
does
eh?
he know he had that effect on your life? Do you think? Do you
I
know
would
that?
hope so.
Have you ever told him what a positive impact he had?
That's a great question. Probably not. I would
Okay.
hope he does.
You need to tell him.
Amazing transformation.
Thanks, Alberto.
Oh, no. Isn't that great, eh?
Thank you.
You didn't drink enough wine.
I don't like wine. Sorry, Alberto. Maybe you could.
You've been leading him on. I thought you told him he was your wine drinking buddy before.
No, he's
now the truth comes out.
he's always putting wine glasses on. When he comments, he
Oh,
always
is that
puts
what
it.
it is?
Yeah,
Is that
because
what it
the first time Alberto came on, remember we talked about
that's
wine.
right.
We were talking about wine, so I don't mind a cab sab, but maybe I need to go
Oh,
overseas
wine
and
too.
try some.
Some Madrid
Maybe
wine.
it tastes better in
He
Madrid.
could bring one over here.
Yes, Alberto.
He's been to
And you
Glacier
could do a
before. That's
live.
where I met him.
Oh, really?
Someone connected us because he wanted to come for a run with
So
us. on a
Alberto,
Sunday
you've
night.
got to come over, do a live with us, and bring some wine for us to taste. We can do live wine tasting with Alberto at the live box.
You know what we should do? That's an idea for a
We
live.
should do a live. We'll
wine
bring
tasting.
Alberto. Yeah, but we can even bring him on from over
Can't we
there,
just
and
do
he
it
can
here
tell
with
us.
someone?
Yeah, but he can tell us what we have to order, and Alberto can be on live with us.
Yeah. Oh, Donna's saying, tell Jacka. Actually, all right,
Yeah,
I'll
tell
make a
him. I
commitment.
totally
I'll make a
believe
commitment
that you
to doing
should.
that.
And you know what? Make him watch the live.
What was my commitment this week? I made a commitment. No, it was this year to learn
Japanese.
Hey, did you book your trip to Perth?
Not yet. It's only been a week. Jeez. I got other stuff on. Yes. No,
Lucky
I don't even drink
Lucky I
scotch.
don't take things
Do
personally.
they drink
Lucky
vodka
I've
in
heard that word.
Madrid? Do they drink vodka
Vodka?
in Madrid?
Should have a vodka.
You know what? We went to. Did I tell you about the two fat blokes tour that we went on? My friend Tony
Fat
Williamson
blokes.
and his wife Asta from Cairns. They own Remax in Cairns, and we went down to a conference in the Hunter Valley,
Yeah.
like the wine capital of Australia. And I don't drink wine, so the three of us booked this wine tour,
Yeah.
and we went on the two fat blokes tour where they give you a different meal at each winery. And I didn't drink the wine; I just ate the food.
Did you?
Yeah, and then
Two
the
fat
bus driver who was driving, because it was only the three of us on the tour, and the bus driver, by the end of the day, I was like, oh, really thirsty, because I hadn't had any wine to drink.
Oh,
He took us to the vodka distillery.
that was a bad move.
Oh, and they had all these test tubes lined up across the back of the bar, and like 1,000 different flavors of vodka. I walked in and I'm like, I think this is what the gates of heaven must look like.
Did you smash
They had
it? Did you,
lavender
like,
vodka
smash it?
and
Were they good?
raspberry.
good, though?
Oh, I was like,
You know what I say?
amazing.
It's like angels weeing on your tongue.
Oh, and that's
And it
pretty
is?
much what it was. I could hear the chorus of angels as
Weeing.
as
Can I
I
tell you
walked
something?
in there. It was like, oh,
Can I,
chocolate flavored vodka.
Oh, can I tell you something?
Seriously?
First up
Hey, Gavin.
I found Pims. Have you ever discovered Pims?
Yeah, Pims is nice. I actually don't mind Pims.
That angel
I don't
burn
mind
on
a bit of
my tongue.
Pims.
Get it. Yeah,
Hello. Oh my God, how are
We
you?
haven't seen you forever. Come on, very, very quickly. We're nearly finished.
Come here, look who's here.
Oh, this is our beautiful little girl. from the light
How you
box.
going?
Yeah, good.
And how's Mum?
Good.
How's Harry?
How's Harry?
Good. Yeah, he's really good back to school.
Good.
You come on in.
I mean, we didn't see you.
Harry's back at school. This is Harry's sister. So Harry had the accident last year, and we talked heaps on here about the. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. So he's going well.
Yeah, no.
Is he
he's
still
good.
having physio and everything for his neck?
No, he doesn't have to get anything. He's
Oh,
like fully
really?
recovered.
Is he fixed?
Yeah,
Wow,
pretty
that's
much
just a
healed,
blessing.
healed the way he was before.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Because he had like a crown of thorns or whatever. Hey, big love to you too from Elizabeth. So
Believe in
also
freedom.
loving
Surgery
Jocelyn.
is awesome, as
Absolutely.
metabolic.
Jocelyn's amazing.
As metabolic illness is such a real thing. It is, Elizabeth. I refer constantly for this. Also loving Jocelyn Walker, nutritionist in Gladstone as well, to my daughter, and she nailed it. Needless to say, we are gluten-free again, time to nourish before or after surgery, but love wine. There you go. We have to do a wine tasting by the sounds of it.
Why don't we put it out
Hook the
there?
light box up.
Yeah, so on one Friday, not after Malulabar, 5 weeks' time, because I'm off the drink until then. Why don't after Malulabar, the first Friday?
You drank at the cricket 2 weeks ago. When did this start?
Last week, 6 weeks out. 6 weeks out. I just go off the drink for 6 weeks.
We
I've
should
gotta get fit, 'cause
we should
you
have a
keep
wine
telling
and
me
cheese tasting here and do a live, and people could give their reviews on the Lightbox's wine. I think we'll talk to them about that.
We need a live event doing that.
That would be awesome, and
we'll
everyone
interview
can give
people.
their
They can come
opinion.
and jump on
Yeah,
one at a time.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh,
If there's
do it in
alcohol,
conjunction with that cheese joint. Get them to do the
deli
price.
plate. I'll get Carol. I'll
Holy
get Carol to do
shit.
the cheese.
All right, so that's going to
definitely.
be March like the 20th or something, right? So
Yes.
we're on. Yeah, that gives.
23rd's my daughter's and Jack's engagement party.
Oh, and it's
Sarah
like,
and Jack's.
oh no, I won't be here that Friday.
No,
night,
we'll
'cause
do it. We'll
the
do
weekend
it.
after.
Yeah, we'll do it early
Early
April,
right?
before Easter.
Yeah, we're going to have events, Roz. You and I.
And
need,
then we're
like,
going to do a
parties
chocolate
down
tasting
here.
with the best,
I can't. I
best
don't eat
Easter
chocolate
egg.
anymore.
Yeah, but that's okay. We can do
You
like
can.
marshmallow Easter egg. I don't eat a lot of chocolate. It
Well,
makes
why don't
me
we? Me
sick.
too. Why don't we have
Too much sugar.
Why don't we have a non-chocolate Easter and try something else? What else can you eat? Like
Yeah.
marshmallows or
Yeah, there
something that's not sugary, maybe something like
We can have people
Fruit.
bring
Eggs.
their best non-chocolate
chocolate.
Easter treats.
We're on fire.
Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll get
different.
Kim. No, hang on. I got a better idea.
Why don't we do cheese?
Because we
at
need
Easter?
to do. No, let's do. I'm going to get Candy Couture, Kim,
Yeah.
who owns Candy Couture. I'm going to get her to come up with some of her best treats for Easter. That's what we'll do. We might
We'll do
actually
testing.
do.
We'll line them up along the
Yeah,
table.
but that'll give her a good lead up. Because
Well,
you know
should
what?
we do
will
it at
be.
her place?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking.
it
We
at
might
her
actually go down out because they got the room out the back where they do the high teas. So
Oh, really? High tea. That sounds exciting.
Alberto said I'll have to go there for that. And Donna's in.
Good job. Donna's in. Coming in. You had me at
Everyone
wine.
loves
Everyone
wine.
loves wine. Absolutely.
So Elizabeth's coming, Donna's coming, Alberto's got to come to our wine tasting, and I'll get the deli plate to do some cheeses and some of their beautiful meats.
And if you're listening to this on our podcast, if you're in Gladstone, you'll know these businesses. And if you're not, feel free to come to Gladstone.
Seriously,
and join
I
us.
got my lunch yesterday again. I'm there like 3 or 4
At
times
Deli
a
Plate.
week at the deli plate. They do
I
the
know.
most, please don't buy them out because I want to make sure there's one when I get there. They have salads in their fridge that they make fresh every day. They have the best roast pumpkin salad with salami cut up in it.
Did you
It's
like
got
the liver
feta.
pate?
The liver pate is to
To
die
die
for.
for.
You know what else they've
To
just
die
got
for.
in? They've just started doing gluten-free, vegan. They've got cookies.
Gluten-free?
Yeah, they've got
Cookies.
They've got what's the keto? Like they've got all the keto
Yeah.
stuff there.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. But their salads,
Just
honestly, their salad with the salami cut up is like honestly to die for. I actually buy one. One of their salads does me for 2 days, so I buy it,
No.
take it to work, and then I
2
have
days.
yeah, because I can't
can't eat
only eat half of
Good
it.
on you, girl.
But they also have the best bell peppers. But they also just started to stock camel feta. Camel feta.
To
It
die
is
for?
to die
I'm
for.
going up there. They still
Die
open
for.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got to get a taste for wine,
They open
Alberto.
Saturday?
Yeah, I believe they are. And Candy Couture, I'm going to get Kim down
Lollies.
here.
Go
We'll do a
Lollies.
live from her before Easter. We'll do a live
Easter.
from Candy Couture. That's down in
Taste
Clinton near
testing.
the opposite the Bunnings complex there. So
All right.
definitely got to get on that.
Bring it on.
Look at all this food we're talking about. How awesome!
Well, girl, what do you
Nearly
think?
time to wrap.
Is this Guins and Ros done for another Friday?
I think it is.
Have we had fun?
Please listen to those songs. We're going to post the links because we want to get the message across of what our live was actually about today.
And if
And
you
if you
missed
listen
any
to
of
the
this-
lyrics,
Yeah.
you will definitely get something out of hearing both of those songs. And don't forget, Graeme Connors is coming to the Entertainment Centre on the 8th of June, which is also the day before my birthday. So if anyone wants to wish me a happy birthday, it's on the day after that. So Graeme Connors in concert at the Gladstone Entertainment and Convention Centre, which is right next to us. Graeme Connors. There we go. Awesome
And if you missed any of this, or if you would prefer to listen to this in your car going to Brizzy, just
jump on
podcast us.
the Guinea Group. Jump on the Guinea Group website.
That's it.
And
You'll
Anton's
find podcasts.
podcasting now each of our lives this year.
And every other day as well.
Yeah,
so.
and he's got a lot of content that's really, and you can actually get Anton to put you on their mailing list. I get emails regularly
absolutely.
for their
Come
Monday
sign.
motivation and things like that.
yes.
So, hey Peter, jumping online.
Nudgy boy, maddest nudgy
We're
boy
just
you'll ever meet.
we're just about
Crazy.
to wrap up, but. And congratulations on how much content you're putting out there.
Thank you. I've
It's
only just
been
started,
really,
girl.
really good.
Is
No,
it?
but you've got.
Did you see what I did this afternoon?
No, I haven't
Office
been
Works.
on this afternoon.
So I did the Guinea Group now have a supplier and a client of the month.
Oh,
I just put a blog post up. Thank you,
That's
Office
awesome.
Works, for all your support. And why? No bullshit. This
Yeah,
is
that's
not,
great.
It's not like, fluffy, you know.
They're people you
they're
actually
really-
use.
And not only that, I've told them very specifically the exact scenario.
Yeah.
Not only the scenario, how they
What
performed, what
yeah.
they did. Can I?
It's like a real good review. That's
30
actually a really
seconds.
great review.
In 30
There you
seconds.
go.
They committed to giving us these things in 48 hours that we needed in 24.
Yeah.
They done it in 24.
Wow, that's really good.
Banners.
Under promise and over deliver.
What do you reckon I said in the thing?
Under promise,
Then,
over deliver.
They're these banners, right? You would have seen these, the Guinea Group
Yeah.
banners. You've seen them?
Yeah,
They come from
yeah.
Office. How much do you reckon you pay for one
Actually,
of them?
I've seen the price of theirs, and they are very, very,
They're
very.
nearly free.
Well,
They might as well give them away.
they're
Have a guess.
competitive. They're so competitive.
Ashley, do it,
How much?
$99.
Cheap as. That's amazing.
There's steel in them. There's
Yeah,
bag,
that's amazing.
Like $99. They're cheaper than online.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. She said $198.
That's and
And I said
shopping
each,
locally.
and she
That's
said,
great.
no, that's for two.
That's great.
said,
Two,
"Holy shit."
99 for two.
No, 198.
Oh wow. Okay.
Then we wanted another one.
Yeah.
I said, they're that good on another one. I'll ring them at 12 o'clock lunchtime. And then she said, I'll commit to 24
so they
hours.
print them on site.
On site.
Wow, that's awesome.
3 hours.
Wow. That's
I shit
pretty
you
awesome.
not.
Do you
3
get your
hours.
business cards and that from them as well?
I do now.
Yeah. Wow.
I
That's
don't.
really
I never
good.
do.
Hi,
3
Ange and
hours.
Ashley.
Unbelievable. So
Just about to wrap
as
up.
a shout
but you
out to Office Works. Thanks
Yes.
for your supplier of the month for the Guinea Group of Companies Proprietary Limited.
You can
guys
watch
rock.
the full review on
can see
Anton's
the-
website for the Guinea Group.
Absolutely.
And just a little very quick real estate
Yeah, go.
Oh, things
yes.
are definitely picking up.
I'm just gonna
There's
type
a lot of there's a lot of stuff starting to happen and move, and properties we're getting really good inquiry level. It has not waned since the end of last year. I'll be really interested to see what the new market monitor figures come out, because we are getting really, really, really good feedback from the valuers, the conveyancers, the building and pets people. Everyone's noticing it pick up.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, very, very influential real estate. One of the proprietors told me this week. Get
Go.
this. He said Gladstone's currently got a boom psychology without the boom pricing yet. What he meant by that is that he's seeing everything's moving, everything under 200
Confidence.
Confident, but
Business,
but not only
residential, investors coming back.
more than confidence though. There's like a
There's a buzz.
There's a fear about missing out.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
is.
was happening in the boom. That's what drives prices up. Hold on a sec. I've got to get this property because it might be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
People are ringing Zach saying, I've got to get a contract in by the end of the day because I keep missing properties.
And we're also seeing multiple offers on some properties
Lot of
and
offers.
multiple applications on rentals. We're actually just about out of rental. We just honestly can't keep up with our rentals. As soon as we
Isn't that good, huh?
list them, they're out the door, and good pricing. So $10 to $30 a week. Our end of each of our leases, the rent's going up usually.
Well, we got one in the high price range, which was 600 a week. That went up 50. And to me, that's cheap. Like if you say $50 a weekend, and what are you? That's highway robbery. But it's not even 10%.
Well, it's
Not
what's
even 10%.
interesting is I've actually sold a couple of properties in the last month for $500,000 in Tannum.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to the valuers, they actually commented they haven't seen sales in that sort of range for a while, and they're starting to come back.
That's right.
So
Oh, don't worry,
the
I'll be,
500,000 is like really the top end of our market at the moment.
this one's not 500 there.
No, but
She's
it's
double
going
A.
through because when people ring me and they say what sort of price ranges are selling, every single price range is selling. So it's not
Yeah, that's
just the $160,000 properties. We're getting interest in everything.
All I was
Be
thinking-
aware of that and take note, even if you're not ready to sell yet. I did speak about this a couple of weeks ago. If you're looking at selling, you know, in the next 12 months to 2 years,
Build a relationship.
was build a relationship with an agent, start doing work on your property. I go into these houses that people have owned for 30 years and they've done absolutely nothing.
That's
nothing.
great. That's great for us renovators.
Well, it is, but you
Not
know,
good for
you
them.
need to start tidying up,
I get
declutter, get any maintenance stuff
I get that.
dealt with, and
Um,
do it now. Don't wait till you ring me and say, "Oh, can you come and do an appraisal?"
Someone
Oh, sorry,
tell
the house is a mess and
Yeah, that's right.
it's,
I
I need
can't
to
sell
do a
this
bit of
thing.
work.
That's
Well,
right.
do it now. Do it now.
Ross, we better go because
We
we've
better
been
wrap
going.
up?
This is our longest live ever. We've never gone over the hour mark before. So
Oh, we have, I think, a couple of times.
Oh, have we?
Yes.
I don't think we have gone over the hour.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah.
Oh,
When you look back. But thanks for joining us, everyone.
Been
And
an
listen to
absolute
those
pleasure.
songs. We'll post the link shortly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, mwah. Thank you, love.
Thank you. Take care,
Good on
everyone.
you.
Have a great week and
Just
go out and
Change the world.
Change the world.
And influence the shit out of
Yeah,
everything.
leave a sacred place
and just leave your mark.
yeah,
be
and,
you.
and don't wish for things, but don't expect
Don't
you're always
overwish.
going to get them.
You
There'll be
get
a
what you
reason
need.
why you're not getting what you want,
Absolutely.
what you asked for. So
Bring it on, team.
Yes,
Love
take
you,
care.
love. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.